Welcome back to our lesson of Adobe After Effects. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the timeline panel. And there are quite a lot of these things, or a lot of these tools, which you need to learn about this timeline panel. So without any further ado, as this is going to be really descriptive, so let's just move into the lesson. In this lesson, as we are going to talk about this timeline panel where we are going to put in our objects, which we want to see as an animation. So I'm going to put it over here. And one thing is that you can increase or decrease the size of it so that you get almost all of the layers or all of the objects which you want to see. Okay. And we are also going to try to add in more content in this, let's say, our lesson or even our animation. First off, we have this timeline panel at the bottom of this interface, and just like I told you from the previous lesson. So let's start off from the left side. Okay, the left side is going to be the objects which you put in your specific animation or what you're working with. Okay, and all of them has different names, and you can also see that there are a couple of these tools. The first thing which we're gonna learn about is this visibility option. Let's say I'm gonna do is play it up. Let's say I'm gonna do is just play it. You can see I am seeing everything. I'm gonna do is decrease the size again so that you can see the whole animation. But one thing is that if you click on this or deselect one of them, you'll find out that one of the object which you put in your animation will not be visible. Let's say I'm gonna do is going to be remove this heart tag, or let's say the hashtag over here. I remove that too, and you can see the hashtag has been removed. Now I'm gonna do is going to be remove this hashtag over here, and that is removed too. So basically what happens is that which ones you want it to be visible and to see each of the layers, how it actually functions in your animation, you'll be able to get a preview of it by using these options. Now, as we are done with this visibility option, you can also revert them back to how it was and see the whole thing just by clicking on this visibility option again and select them to be visible. Okay. Now, as we're done with that part, we have a lot of things going on in this area. First off, we have our whole project, which is named to be retro. Then we have is hashtag. Okay. The hashtag part is where we put in our exact hashtag, and that is basically the hashtag part. You can see the mighty part. Then we have is black solid, which is this part. And then we have is this empty layer where we don't have any object, but it works as a background. So I want all of them to be visible too. If I press on this black solid one, and that is also visible, I'm going to click on this retro again. This also functions similarly, just the way we see on this composition layer, okay, or let's say the composition panel. So as all of them are visible, we have also these parts where we can literally. Then we have is this layering option, which you can see. We can see the layers, and there is also this lock layers. Okay, so let's say you are seeing the whole thing. I'm going to play it back again. I'm going to do is layer one of it. You will see that one part of the object is being masked. Okay, so now you can see the object is not visible over there. This allows you to see the area of a specific object in your animation and allows you to put in more data, or let's say more object over there, so that you can see how it actually works. You can see now this part is white. So according to that specific area, you'll be able to put something over there and see how it functions or is previewed. Okay, so I'm going to do is click on this option again. Now that it's not visible, you will find out that it has been, clicked up. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to do is right click on it. I'm going to do is click on layers. And what I'm going to do is click on layers again and find out the previous one. And now you can see that all of them are now visible as I've removed all of the masking option. So now you know about how these tools works. You can mask any of these objects in your timeline panel. So let's say if you want to use this black solid and layer it up, you can just click on it and that part will be masked out. Okay, I'm going to click on this part again and start it from over here. I'm going to play it up, and you can see as the black solid part has been removed, we cannot see any of it. I'm going to select on this again, and you will find out that all of the objects are now visible again, because that black part is now overlaying all of the objects that are, displayed on our animation. Now we can also do the same thing on each and every one. Then we have is this filtering option. The filtering option is a lot similar to the ones we use in Adobe Lightroom. You can like filter any of the object. Let's say you want it to turn it to be, let's say, the blue group, red group, orange, or whichever color you want, which is a lot similar to labeling. You can label them however you want, which is a lot similar to grouping them up too. So this also helps you to find out an exact type of animation, or let's say exact type of layers which you want to edit. And you can see as both of them are blue, so both of them, let's say, carries up a specific or, specific category of object. Then we have is our, let's say, layer name. You can name up any of the layer, just double click on it, or you can just right click, press on rename, or press on F2, and then it will be renamed. Okay, let's say I'm gonna do is rename it. Let's say from here I'm gonna do is delete it, and let's say first, hit on enter, and we have our first option over here. Then we have is this options. Okay, there is shy, which hides layers and timelines, which is a lot similar to like visibility options. But what it does is I'm going to click on this option, and that is now hidden, and almost nothing according to that will be visible, or just hides it up. Okay, it's a lot like concealing a specific layer, but what it does is just allows that layer to stick up to your specific animation panel, or let's say your page or your work, and then just sits there. Okay, then I'm going to do is click on this option again. Let me show you a part where we feel like we can see the difference. Then we have this option, which is for comping layers or collapse the transformation. So what it does is rasterizes a specific layer in your project or in your animation. And you know what happens when it rasterizes the effect, or let's say rasterizes a layer. What it does is just allows you to like make more edits on it freely. Okay, that is what rasterizing an effect or rasterizing a layer is all about. So I'm going to click on all of them because I want to customize it according to my will. And obviously, if you are not able to customize it, then obviously you will not find out that it's like comfortable or flexible. So make sure to like rasterize all of it and click on each and every one so that all of them are rasterized, and you can like completely, or like according to your will, customize it according to your desire. Then we have is this option, which is called quality and stamping. Well, obviously you want the best quality in your animation. To do that, make sure to select all of them. Well, there is like a couple of these options, which is left and right, which is a lot like obliques. But make sure to like see the difference on each and every one. Let me just zoom in, or like, let's say I'm going to keep it up over here. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to play it. I'm going to do zoom out a bit, and you can see that there are a couple of these options. Okay, I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to click on this right. I'm going to turn them aside, whatever they have. Now I'm going to do is play it up. I'm going to take this over here, play. Now you can see the difference is a lot. Well, when you are doing this work with, let's say, more graphics, you'll find out more, let's say, differences. Okay, you can see this is a lot more visible, and that is what basically quality ensures. It most of the time what it does is like saturates it and all of those works. Okay, so make sure to keep it like plain like this so that you get almost all of the result. I'm gonna do is turn it all around here so that I get the perfect result for each and every one. Now you can see the text is more visible. So what it does is that if you want it to be more pixelated, then you can toggle it according to your desire. Then we have is the FX option, which is the filter. Whatever type of filter you want to apply on a specific layer, you can do it right from here. What you're gonna do is right click on each of like these layers and press on this effect and all of these options which you have over here. Okay, and then you will be able to apply in your effects, and which is also the effects option over here. Just like you can see that in our hashtag over here, it just pops up. So I'm gonna do is show it to you again when we see our animation. I'm gonna do is take it over here, play it. I'm gonna do is take it at the, let's say I'm gonna do is take it like this, and then you can see the hashtag appears up. So that means in this hashtag we have one of the filters or effects applied. We can also see the learn more also has the same type of filtering. I'm gonna do is pause it up. I'm gonna do is play it. Play, and you can see Mighty and also learn more appears up. Thus we know we have filters or effects applied on that specific layer so that it, you know, shows some like animation or let's say transition and all of those. So now you almost know all of the parts over here. But then we have is the frame blending. Let's say blending photos. So if you want to blend it up over here, just click on right this or select on a specific layer, and then you have this blending mode. Then you will be able to apply whichever type of blends you want to apply. Let's do the same thing on over here, shape layer. Let me just play it up, and over here I'm going to do is apply in a blending. So I'm going to click on this blending mode. Let's say here I want overlay, or let's say I'm going to select on hue, and I can see the color has been changed. I'm going to do is select this over here and play it up, and you can see the color has changed, and that is how the blending option appears up. But it will not show something like this option to like appear over here. If you want to remove it, just go over to this blending option again and then press on normal, and then it will revert back to how it actually was. And you have to keep one thing in mind, that Adobe After Effects only takes a specific type of, let's say, files. Let's say JPG, PNG, then Illustrator, then let's say Photoshopped ones, then we have is Lightroom ones and all of those. It also takes vector graphics. But after all of those, there are quite specific ones and limited ones what Adobe After Effects supports. And if it doesn't support, well, there is also a functionality which Adobe After Effects helps you with, because it converts a file to be supportable and then applies or helps you to put that object, or let's say a layer, in your animation. Then we are going to learn about this option, which is motion blur. If you want to add motion blur, just click on any of those motion blurs and the motion blur will be applied. So I'm going to click on it, deselect it. I'm going to do is apply a motion blur over here. Let's say I'm going to do is paste it up on here. And I'm going to do is play it. I'm going to do is take it up over here. And then you can see that there is a bit of motion blur on there. But it obviously takes a bit of that, you know, your CPU or your RAM usage. Because if you have like a low-end PC, then you might find a bit of stuttering there. But if you have a higher-end PC, then obviously it's going to work very smooth. Then I'm going to do is toggle through it. You can like right-click on it or left-click on it, whichever one you want to apply. Then we have is monochrome, or adjusting layers. You can adjust your layers however you want. I'm going to click on this, and you can see the monochrome has been applied. I'm going to play it up, take it right over here. I'm going to do is play it. And as you can see that there is nothing too colorful over here, but I'm going to do is remove it and find out the ones which is going to make some difference. And you can see all of them has been applied. I'm going to do is select all of them and take this up at the front. What I'm going to do is just remove this black solid, play it up. Then you can see this is basically how it will actually look like. Okay, but it's going to take a bit like time to render up your video and then apply it directly to your animation panel. And obviously you have the frame render time over here too. If it's less, then it's going to take less time, and if it takes, let's say 254 and all of those which will appear up, then it's obviously going to take a bit of time. So you have to keep those things in mind. And you can also toggle switch modes. Okay, just select on it, and then you will see that all of them are like, let's say, a bit bigger, so that you can see how it actually works. I'm going to select on this again, and it will revert back. What I'm going to do is remove all of them again and see how it basically works. And now you can see the heart has appeared up. But what happened over here is the heart, it was red in color, but when I applied that effect layer or monochrome, what it did is lose its color and turned into white. Same happened to the one over here on this hashtag. Okay. Then we have is this option which is called the 3D layer. It helps you to manipulate 3D dimension objects. But let's do it over here. I'm going to click on this heart shape, heart-like. and then it will turn into the 3D layer. Even though if it's not that visible, I'm gonna do is play it up back again, and it will take a bit of a time to render that object. I'm gonna do is select on all of them, and all of them will turn into 3D ones. And I'm gonna do is you can create a 3D bin. I'm gonna do is play it up. Okay. Now as all of them are done, I'm gonna do is press on OK. I'm gonna do is take it right at the beginning and play it up. Now basically all of them are now 3D. Okay, and you can see that there are a couple of shadows which are appearing over here. That means all of them turned into 3D animation. Okay, then you can also see from different angles too. But I'm not going to show it to you in this lesson because this is just the basics of timeline panel. Then we have is these options. I'm going to do is toggle switches and modes. Then we have is mode. Whichever mode you want to use, you can apply it on it, which is also similar to the filters which you apply in a specific animation. Okay, you can see saturation, hue, whichever one you want. Then we have is extract matte. You can select whichever matte you want to use. Let's say I'm going to empty this layer, and that layer has been emptied. And you can see that track matte has been applied, but I want to click on none because that is also quite similar. If you have like more objects over there, then you are going to see a specific difference. Then we have is parent links, which is also similar to hyperlinks and all of those. Let's say this is going to take it to 11. This is going to like, cooperate with this one. And this is also cooperate with this one. So this is what inherits the transformation and also puts in the animation. You can apply more effects on these ones and select whichever one you want to apply. Let's say I'm going to click on heart-like. I'm going to do select on this and press on shape layer. Then I'm going to do is like play it and see the difference. It's going to take a bit of a time. Now you can see that there is 92 ms. I'm going to play it up, and this is going to tag up, or let's say link it up. Okay, and that is how you basically link up specific items or specific animation on your Adobe After Effects. So we are done on with this left part. We also have this tag, label, and all of those. Then we have is this search tab or search bar. You'll be able to search up whichever one you want. Let's say I'm going to search for colors, and then the color option will appear up, and whichever label is given up to here. Okay, I'm going to select on this. I'm going to cut it off, and you're going to see or get reverted back to how it actually was. So we are done on this left part. Okay, then we have is this part, which is graph editor. If you want to like edit the graphs, you can apply graphs over here. I'm going to do is minimize it, or first off, I'm going to do is increase the size. After I increase the size, I'm going to select on a specific one. Then I'm going to do is graph up this part. What I'm going to do is take up this part, and you can see that there is basically no difference because what you have to do is just select selected properties and show animated properties. Okay, select on that, and then you have this option. Then I'm going to do is select on this, and then you will find out an option like this will appear up. Then you can select whichever layer you want to use or whichever numbering you want to use if you have like specific objects applied in the specific option. I'm going to do is take it, and it is now at the top. You can like, press it or like drag it wherever you want to like select or place it up, because obviously if it's like at the top, then it's going to show at the top and have more visibility instead of the bottom ones. Now, as we're done with this part, which is the graph and chart option, I'm going to do is minimize this again, and then I'm going to show you how you'll be able to apply or use, let's say, a specific time frame from your animation panel. Let's say you want to use only from 0 to 4 seconds and you want it to loop back again and again. What you're going to do is right below this option of current time indicator, you'll find this, okay, work area. I'm going to do is drag it right over here. And as I told you, I want it till 3. So I'm going to paste it right over 3. I'm going to do is take it at the first. I'm going to play it up. And then you will see that it will loop back again and again. But it will not go after this, okay? If it does not work, what you have to do is just press it up again. Okay, now you can see that it is looping back again and again because this is the workspace right now. You can also see the whole thing by, dragging up and down and, increasing the size. Okay, if you want to see the whole thing of the 15 seconds, because I have 50 seconds only, so I'm going to see the whole project all at once, then you're going to see it like this. Okay, then you can also see this thing using this option too, which works the same way. Okay, so now we are done with this timeline panel. But just like I told you, this also works as the composition panel or selecting specific object. You can select on the project, select on specific object from over here, which are appearing on your specific item. or let's say your specific animation. And obviously, if you want to apply any of, let's say, a photo over here, which we have as a photo timestamp over here, I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to do is increase the size. Then I'm going to do is photos, like photo slide image placeholder. I'm going to select on it. Okay. Increase the size. Then what you're going to do is click on file, click on import, which you're going to find over here, and click on this file option. From here, what I'm going to do is take any of this photo, click on it, and it will be like over here. What you're going to do is take this over here, just drag it up, and you will find out you'll be able to crop it up too. I'm going to do is place it around over here. And then we have it. After you're done, just click on the main file and play it up, and you will see that it will appear over here. But if it's not like that, what you're going to do is click on that option again. I'm going to select on it, select on this option. I'm going to do is zoom out. First, I'm going to select on it. I'm going to do is select, and I'm going to do is make sure. I'm going to first off, I'm going to do is crop it up a bit. I'm going to do is take that up. Now what I'm going to do is just click on this retro again, and I'm going to do is play it up. I'm going to just take it at the beginning, play it, and then you have your photo applied to your, let's say, place or photo holder too. So that is basically it about this lesson. Now let's move on to our next lesson, where we are going to describe you all about project composition and also about the toolbars.